kid you not, the first word I ever said to her was, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna marry you one day.
Child tension between Steve and Marjorie Harvey erupted, with Marjorie allegedly having stepped out on him twice, with 2 different men, no less. "You're not the first phrase I ever said to her. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to marry you one day." Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Secret Life channel. If you think that's dramatic, consider this. Rumors are circulating on Twitter that in addition to her alleged affairs, Marjorie is getting ready to file for divorce from Steve in an attempt to seize half of his empire. And guess who's in her corner? Lori, Marjorie's own daughter, seems to be hinting that it's Steve's fault that Marjorie cheated. Do we hear correctly? The single most important decision you will ever make, Lori, is to blame Steve for the rest of your life, because your partner will either, well, that's a poisonous relationship. For those who are unaware, here's a little flashback. Despite their best efforts to present a picture of married bliss, rumors about Steve Harvey and Marjorie's marriage have been circulating for a while. Many have surmised that there may not be all that happiness behind closed doors. The revelations that have been coming to light recently have been astounding, so that's what you're saying to me. What's amazing about this is that Steve, who is well known for his relationship advice, opened up to People magazine about how Marjorie transformed his very ethos on love and relationships. He was quoted as saying, "Marjorie changed the way I existed. I'd never been in a healthy adult relationship. I'd never been loyal." Oh, the irony of this man revealing such personal vulnerabilities, now diving a bit deeper into their love story. Okay, Alex, just a surprise. Several insiders have come forward with some spicy details, accusing Marjorie of being unfaithful. Some even cite Steve's bodyguard and their personal chef as her covert paramours. The Steve and Marjorie saga began in the 1990s. For them, it was a traditional story of love at first sight. After becoming enthralled with Marjorie at one of his comedy shows, Steve wasted little time in courting her. Their initial exchanges were brief, with Marjorie opting to put things on hold, primarily because Steve was still figuring out his financial situation. God returned her to me in 2005, but I had met her in 1986 to 1987 when the song was released. A struggling comic didn't quite meet her expectations, especially considering her past encounters with former boyfriends who were drug traffickers and overspent. Get ready, darlings, for there are even more scandalous aspects to this love story between Steve and Marjorie Harvey. Let's start by revealing that both of them were married to other people when sparks first flew between them. Marjorie was obviously not settling for anyone without a big pocketbook. Not only was Steve speaking his words when he declared, "I'd never been loyal," the man continued to be wed to Mary Shackelford. His actual monetary foundation, Mary invested all of her life savings in Steve's initial comedic venture. Dreams of being so helpful, only to be abandoned as soon as your partner gets the bag. Heartbreaking, isn't it? Now, let's move on to Marjorie. Steve isn't her first husband. In fact, he's her third. She married 2 drug traffickers before him. See, there's a trend, am I right? Her first marriage was to Jim Townsend, the father of her first 2 children. Jim was arrested while in possession of 40 kilograms of drugs, and Marjorie was pregnant with their second child at the time. Rumor has it that she may have been involved in his business dealings, but she denied those claims. Jim accepted a plea agreement to avoid getting into legal trouble, and soon after his sentencing, Marjorie issued him with divorce papers. She then declared, "I don't know another drugs dealer named Darnell Woods who might be Lori's biological father." Darnell also ended up in jail, and Marjorie hit the exit door once more. Let me start by saying that you shouldn't feel bad about it, considering Marjorie's past and her initial reluctance to be with a financially unstable Steve. It's not surprising that some people think she's in it for the money. If Steve wasn't making a lot of money now, many doubt Marjorie would have gone back to give him another chance. But when she did, Steve was ecstatic. They exchanged vows in 2007 and have been the talk of Tinseltown ever since. And let's not forget about Steve's intense infatuation with Marjorie. The man is going all out for his lady love. If something has a price tag, chances are Steve's buying it for his lady love. Need more evidence? Marjorie went ahead and legally adopted her children, giving them his last name. Oh, but as a mother, you realize that you still owe. And let's not, I'm so protective of Lori because I know what she's up against. People have noticed that Steve has a special affection for her, and he seems to adore her even more than his own biological offspring. This makes it even more shocking when rumors circulate that Marjorie would consider going after Steve. The depth of Steve's affection is evident. He not only finances Marjorie's opulent lifestyle, but he also extends that generosity to her children. He didn't just give them his name, he included them in his will. After all he's done, it's almost unbelievable. This is where things get spicy. Steve admitted to straying in his past relationships, and if the whispers in the grapevine are to be believed, it seems that Marjorie has returned. It's unthinkable to hear rumors of her allegedly straying, but you're really here so I can honor you. Maybe it's not quite that clear-cut. They say karma doesn't have a deadline. Steve's bodyguard is the man who is allegedly the other man in Marjorie's life. Look, the only time I've ever seen you happy was when you were with that woman, Steve remarked in a 2016 interview with People, referring to the same guy who played Cupid and reintroduced the pair years after they first crossed paths in the 1990s. Marjorie, now before you go and do something stupid and marry another woman, I'm calling her, he also added, was like being reborn. I messed up so many times in my life. She made all the difference, isn't it juicy? The very guy who rekindled Steve and Marjorie's romance is allegedly the same man Marjorie's been getting cozy with. If that's not shocking enough, hold on to your mimosas. Because word on the street is that Marjorie is thinking of serving Steve some divorce papers and is gunning for half his fortune. The rumor mill went into overdrive with netizens spilling tea left-right and center casting shade on both Steve and Marjorie. But wait, there's more. Steve wasn't about to let his name be dragged without saying a word. He stepped up, debunking the hearsay. After that, Marjorie, not one to be overshadowed, took to the dram with a fiery clap back. My husband. And I don't usually stop to address all of the foolishness and lies that have been spread about us. However, to whom much is given, much is required. I am aware that having a platform entails some obligation towards individuals who might not be as strong as we are. But there's more to the story than that. This is where the plot thickens even more. Sources close to the situation tell us that Lori Harvey, always the protective daughter, is not just mad. Oh no, she's livid. Insiders have been whispering that Lori feels caught in the crossfire of this whole mess, and that she believes the family's name is being tarnished, being a rising star in the industry. Why is Lori, Marjorie's daughter, apparently furious at Steve? Because he didn't jump to Marjorie's defense quickly enough, setting the internet afire with rumors that Lori wanted Steve to squash the gossip the minute it surfaced, not days later. The delay has reportedly caused tension in the Harvey household. The best part is that insiders suggest Lori is preparing a book or a tell-all interview, possibly to clear the family name, support her mother, or reveal some family secrets. Lori has always been conscious of her image and the image of her family, especially given her connections to the fashion and beauty industries. Her relationships and career have always been under the spotlight, and she doesn't need any more scandals. We can't be certain, but knowing Lori, it will undoubtedly be epic due to her constant influence. Any revelations from her might completely change the course of the story. Will she affirm or refute the accusations? What is the general public's opinion on the matter? Well, darling, the Harvey saga is still unfolding, and fans aren't holding back with their 2 cents. With the internet serving as such a vast platform, opinions are flowing more quickly than champagne at a Beverly Hills soiree. Let's delve into what the devoted fan base has to say. We started with a YouTube comment that caught our attention because it said, "She did what she came to do, divide and conquer." She knew exactly what she was doing. Her and her kids are set for life now. Isn't this a sizzling take? Some people believe that Marjorie's intentions were always to secure a good life for herself and her children. Another thought-provoking comment concerns Lori's defense of Marjorie, meaning Lori is standing up for her mother. When you adopt someone else's child and treat them better than yourself, Marjorie, this is what happens. Karma is real. Steve's purported preference for Lori and her siblings over his own biological children is now back to haunt him. However, there's more tea in store for us. A fan revealed a detail that has been largely ignored. She pointed out that Julie's first and second husbands are cousins. If this is true, then her